develop and deliver the spaces you need. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ivy Dench-Carter. I'm Regional Vice President with Penrose. My outstanding team, the Greenleaf District Partners, would like to thank everyone for the opportunity to be here so that we have the opportunity to present our expertise, our shared values, and more importantly, how can we work with you to bring your vision and your goals for the rebirth of the Greenleaf community. The redevelopment process is like a marriage. Some may like marriage and some may not. And this is our first date, guys. You're going to go through a speed dating process tonight with different development teams. And there are some pretty attractive teams that are going to be presenting to you. So we're going to, and my team is attractive as well. So we're going to give 1 point for each team for performance tonight, all right? The ultimate team or your proposed marriage partner has a few important qualities: shared values and vision, synergy, honesty, and respect. Greenleaf District Partners bring all of these qualities to the table and to hopefully our impending marriage. At the end of the day, this is your home and will continue to be your home. And we must and we will respect that throughout this process. Our partners naturally are going to be DCHA Housing Authority, and I'd like to take some time to introduce briefly the Greenleaf District Partners, as we are on a time limit. Bozzuto is a national award-winning development company specializing in high-quality, multifamily, and mixed-use in urban settings. And for more than 3 decades, they've built an unparalleled reputation in development, construction, and management practices. EYA, another one of our partners, is one of the region's premier urban infill mixed-income developers specializing in condos and townhouses. Their work and dedication has resulted in affordable, market rate, and workforce housing with housing authorities in DC, Alexandria, and Montgomery County. Our last but not least CBE partner is Paramount Development, who's an experienced local developer, local investor who's delivered over 500 units of affordable and workforce housing units in Southwest DC. I'm with Penrose. I'm 30 years young with the Penrose organization. I first came to Penrose as a site manager managing a subsidized family and senior development. So I understand your challenges and I understand your concerns. From a site manager, I've worked my way up to regional vice president for development. Wow. So I'm here, I'm experienced, and I understand what that takes. Penrose brings 5 decades of experience developing affordable and mixed income housing. One noteworthy thing is we've worked with 46 housing authorities across the country. We understand the redevelopment process, and it can be very complicated dealing with HUD and working through the entitlement processes. As time does not permit, we've got a really deep bench of professionals here on stage who are nationally acclaimed and bring local expertise to the process. As the slideshow shows, the Greenleaf District Partners have a wealth of experience. This is what we've done locally and national from a team perspective. Now on to my favorite part of this process, resident and community participation. You guys are here because you want to be involved and you want your voices heard. This slide represents various ways that we can formulate an engagement plan. We're not here telling you what the engagement plan is going to be, but it's how can we work with you to develop an engagement plan. That's very important. We want to do that with you together. Phase 1 can be empowerment. How do we empower you? Youth task force, senior task force, family task force, working with persons with disabilities. Phase 2, envisionment. What can we do to help you envision the goals and the visions for this community? Design workshops. We do bus trips to redevelopment properties that have already been done so that you have an idea of some of the things that can be accomplished. Phase 3, envisioning. I'm sorry, I did that one. Envisioning visual surveys. Last phase is implementation. Making sure that we stay in contact with you. We have regular meetings, we have website updates. It's important that you stay involved in the process because at the end of the day, this is your community. Lastly, our commitment to you. Hit the ground running. Plan with you, not for you. Earn your trust by results. Now I'd like to introduce my partner, Jack Lester from EYA.
Thank you, Ivy. Thank you all. Good evening. My name is Jack Lester. I see some friends from Capitol Quarter, project we developed with the Housing Authority a few years back. I have a lot of ground to cover this evening, and it's all important. I'm going to cover three things: the plan and vision, our build first strategy, and our phasing plan. Speaking about engagement, that's a great starting point to talk about plan and vision. Greenleaf is unique from a planning perspective because you all have done so much of the hard work in creating the Southwest Neighborhood Plan and then the Greenleaf Redevelopment Plan. So we know what your vision is. It's our job to take that and make it real, interpret it, and refine it. I want to cover three of the priorities that we have in planning. One is the people. That is always where we want to start from our as a planning priority. Southwest defining characteristic is the diversity of this community, and we want to build on that. We do that in a number of ways, but three ways I want to talk to it in a little bit more detail. Number one, it's got to be affordable. Clearly, the goal of this program, in this redevelopment, is to maintain the affordability. We, of course, do that with one-for-one, but we increase the level of affordability here. We increase the number of affordable units in our plan, and I'll come back to that in a few minutes. The second way we do this is by creating diverse housing choices. That's houses that meet different family needs, housing that's accessible, housing that can accommodate large families, rental housing, for sale housing, high-rise housing, mid-rise, and townhomes. By incorporating townhomes into our plan, we can also include for-sale housing to give people an opportunity to buy workforce and market-rate homes. The third thing we do is excellence in design. We know and we believe that design promotes physical, mental, and economic well-being. We really, if you know our projects and you've seen our work, you know that this is a core principle of our team, and it's one that you will see in the plan that we develop, as Ivy said, through a robust community project. Another priority for us is getting the retail right. Retail is critical to creating vibrant communities, but vibrant communities aren't the end. The Wharf is a great, vibrant place, but it doesn't meet the daily needs of the community. We want to provide community retail that serves its residents. We've got our partner here from the DC Central Kitchen, who's been providing healthy meals for schools and for seniors and for families since 1991. We want to have this discussion, further this discussion, to talk about the needs for health services in daycare. So again, retail that serves you, not the folks that come to the area for dinner once or twice a year. Now I want to talk a little bit about our build first strategy. And we call it a strategy because it's more than just having a single build first site. We have a build first site, of course, and we have a second site that allows us to build additional for sale housing next to the Capitol Park Plaza. Our partner is the owner of the Capitol Park Plaza buildings, and he wants to bring his property as well as the Westminster Church property, which is our build first site, into this redevelopment. So not only are we doing, as I said earlier, replacing one for one, we're adding affordable housing to this community. Using the Capitol Park Plaza also is going to allow us to shorten the development timeline and to have the residents of Greenleaf benefit very, very early in the process from the redevelopment that's going on. we will be able to relocate those residents that would like to go into this newly renovated and fully amenitized building early. And the reason that's important is any other developer that is waiting to do a build first building has got to go through the community and approval process, a couple of years, then build the building, a couple of years, and then start to have the benefits of those new buildings come to the residents. With our plan, we're able to cut that by at least 2 years, because we'll be able to move folks that want to move to Capitol Park Plaza and then start the redevelopment sooner. So more housing and more housing for the residents sooner. Lastly, I want to come to phasing. And just briefly on phasing, we've thought this through in Capitol Park Plaza adds this other dimension, that we can begin phase 1 on the A block, the north side of M Street, very early, as I said. And the reason we start there is because it causes the least disruption to the existing residents and provides the most new housing back. So we like to think we get the most bang for our buck. That's an important thing. And because we are delivering so much of the housing, we're able to do the south side of M Street in its entirety in a second phase. By the second phase, we will have delivered 65% or more of the affordable housing. So we're delivering the affordable housing to the residents sooner, and we're delivering it more of it early. And with that, because I know I'm short on time, I want to turn it over to my colleague Akash. But I will just say, if we're selected, we will deliver a great plan that reflects the goals of the community, one that adds significantly more affordable housing, delivers to the residents early, and cuts the development timeline by years.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Akash Thakar, partner with the firm EYA as well. And I want you to hold me to something, should we be able to work together, or as Ivy said, should we get married? Our team's North Star is a simple one. Our goal and why we're here this evening is to enhance opportunities and improve quality of life in this community. That is our core guiding principle, and what we're aiming for, and as Ivy said, we're going to work with you as best we can, given the experience we have, to make that happen. So with regard to holistic community revitalization, human capital, how are we going to work with folks to bring the jobs and the benefits that are now touching Southwest to the Greenleaf community? We discussed DC Central Kitchen. In summary, they want to bring a job training, a culinary job training program to this community as part of Greenleaf. In addition to that, they want to bring, and Alex from DC Central Kitchen is here. He's right there and he can answer questions in the Q&A. But they also want to bring roughly 100 jobs, culinary jobs, to residents that will help them work on their efforts throughout the city right here at Greenleaf. Busboys and Poets is another friend of our collective firms. They'd like to do a restaurant here, but they also want to do a job training program to have residents work at that restaurant. When we talk about other job training and internship opportunities, jobs, yes, jobs, absolutely. Job training opportunities and jobs. Got it, yep. So in terms of other jobs, construction jobs, Penrose and Bizzuto are two of the largest property managers in the city, and we want to provide jobs with them as well. And finally, the Wharf, and my partner here, Ben Soto, is a partner in the Wharf. We want to connect Greenleaf residents to the Wharf, and that's just the start of our job training opportunities program and our jobs program. What we want to do is work with you guys to see what the needs are and ensure that we're meeting those through our collective efforts. So I've got a little bit over a minute left, and we want to work with you on this project, and we want to share with you why. Here are our core principles. Engagement. We will engage with you throughout this process. The next two might be the most important on this set of commitments. Experience and expertise. And I will tell you, having worked with Penrose and having worked with Bizzuto and EYA and Paramount, there's no firm that has done more work with housing authorities nationally and with cities nationally of the type of work that we're talking about here. Hard, complex redevelopment of mixed income housing. And what I can assure you, should we be selected and should we work with you, there will be challenges. There will be disagreement. I can guarantee you that. What I can also guarantee you is, and what I implore you to do, is to select a team that has the experience, the financial wherewithal, the capabilities, and the prior work of this type, large, complicated, public-private work, I urge you to select a team that has those capabilities, and I suggest to you that this team, having worked together with all these folks several times, this team has that capability, and together, as I said, kind of looking at our North Star, our goal is to improve quality of life at Greenleaf and create a great place, and having all of us and all of you be a part of that. So thank you very much for your time. I hope I met the time limit, Jose, and we're now here to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Really good. We had official. How's everybody tonight? My name is Eric Price. I'm with the HP Foundation. We are the lead developer for this team for Greenleaf Associates. I'm going to be very brief. We're going to have a couple people speak, sort of walk you through why we're doing this, what we think is the challenge with this project, what we think is the opportunity. We're going to talk a little bit about our vision, and we're going to talk about, probably most importantly, how we work with you going forward. Greenleaf Associates is a partnership. We have 4 other development teams. NHP Foundation, we are here in Washington, D.C. All of our teams are located in the city. We have 52 properties that we own, about 9,000 units that we control. We're going to be the lead developer on the affordable portion of this project, which will be for every portion of this project, and we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail. We have a lot of experience on the team in terms of doing that. We're going to form a partnership with the Warrington Group in terms of putting that together. We've brought together for-profit developers also to this, 5 Squares, and you're going to hear from Andy in a little bit. And we also have brought together a larger developer, Brookfield, which is going to bring both capital and controls a lot of units in a particular neighborhood. We recognize that this is more than just about the real estate, and that's the point we really want to make to you tonight. It's about how to create a community and how to work with the community to create a place where you want to live in the future and your families want to live. You want me to speak even more? You okay? I'm sorry about that. And so I'm going to start off with our first presenter, who's going to talk a little bit about why we're doing this, Andy Dalton.
Where's the
clicker David has?
David has it. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Andy Altman, and I'm part of the team. Sorry, 5 Squares Development. But importantly, I had kind of long history. I know many people, some of the people in the room. I had been in district government under Tony Williams, so I was head of the planning office, and worked a lot down here in this neighborhood, and a lot on the Anacostia Waterfront Initiative. Importantly, about 4 years ago, Matt and I worked, many of you, on a plan for Greenleaf that's led to where we are today. So a lot of background in this community, working here for a number of years. I'm excited to be here. So I'm going to talk a bit about some of the things that we think about as we put our team together. We wanted to make sure that we brought the best expertise, everything to really help you in how you want to have a vision, plan for the community. So we're here because this is, as Eric said, not just about bricks and mortar, not just about the buildings, not the pretty pictures that people show in terms of renderings and all of that. We've got that too. This really is, how do we start from our premise, how do we start working with you about what's most important to achieve the goals of the community. We have a team that has a lot of experience. You'll hear from others who work in this community. But important to us, you're going to hear a lot also about the human dimension. What can we do in terms of human capital? Christine from the Warrington Group is going to talk about that. We're going to talk a lot about affordable housing and economic development. As Eric said, National Housing Partnership, they're a leader in affordable housing around the country and bringing services to all of their developments. So we're really putting people at the heart of this. Next. We heard a lot from the community meetings and from talking to people in the community, and having been here for a while, part of the prior planning process. But what was really important to people as we started this out, right? It wasn't about what's the end of this, how much you're going to build, and what all these buildings look like. It's what is it for us? Why are you going about doing this? Why does this matter? Why should we even be a part of this? What's it going to bring to us to benefit us? So we heard that. It was about respecting your home first and foremost, right? That meant, you know, we understand what's going on. You do better than we do. with the pressures that are in development around here in this area, whether it's from what's happening over by the ballpark, what's happening at the wharf. We understand people feel understandably worried, well, what happens to us? So you have to be first in this, not second, not third. We heard it was important to keep 3, 4, and 5 bedroom units. We bring all of those will be replaced and come back. We're not trying to get rid of those units in any possible way. Those are fundamental. So as part of replacing all of the housing units here, 493 units for the senior building, all the 3, 4, and 5 beds would come back. Want to bring back new and modern housing, in other words, make better housing for people, upgrading the conditions as part of this whole redevelopment, so we understand that. We also want to increase the number of affordable units. So we're doing 200 units above what's all being replaced, so that we really have a truly mixed income community. And that's really, really important. We heard that over and over. So it's not just public housing units, it's also more affordable units that are a part of this. And that all the blocks other than senior housing are really all going to be, each building would be a mixed income housing. So be distributed, so it wouldn't be, as I say, market rates here, just affordable here, truly be a mixed income community. You're going to hear about introducing retail and commercial space. This is, we want to do neighborhood serving retail with local people and businesses that we bring for services in the community. And talk about that a little later. Public safety we understood was very important. So how we design the streets and how public safety can be improved in this community was fundamental. We heard a lot about the park space. We want to, how do we actually take Landsberg Park? We heard, how do we make that a great community benefit for us? And so we embrace that to make it part of this and actually incorporate how we could improve that park and make it a great, great benefit for the community, better than it is today. And we'll talk about developing human capital, which are the programs for people and jobs and opportunities, training, and other opportunities that we can generate out of this development. So again, we learned a lot from you. We didn't start from, what's everything you can build and develop and how many buildings. We started from what have we heard from people, and it's just the start of the process. Because for us, it's all about that community planning process. Minimizing disruption to residents means that there's not displacement, that we have places for people in this community. As Eric said, Brookfield, it's a developer, has over 2,000 units, 1,000 units already, another 1,000 some under development in this community, yards, water spring station, all around here. So we have places for people, so we don't have to displace anyone from this community. Enhancing the presence of existing community. We talked about connecting the amenities, which is more parks, better facilities, mixed income community. So we really did learn from you, and that's part of our plan. That's how we started. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Matt.
Good evening, Matt Bell with Perkins Eastman. It's nice to see a lot of the folks who were part of the process a few years ago, as Andy mentioned, when we developed a community plan that was the basis for this, and it would be a great honor for us to be part of moving this forward. It's a very exciting opportunity, and we'll work really hard to work with you to really give you the best project possible. Just want to walk through some of the visions of the future, some of the things we heard from you folks that we're incorporating into our plan, or committing to improving Landsberg Park. We heard about new court bleachers, improving the community gardens, places for kids. A lot of concern that there needed to be really great places for kids in the neighborhood, improved playgrounds, places where our youth can really enjoy recreation and all sorts of great activities. This is a view of some of those kinds of amenities and shows the park Andy mentioned in terms of some of the improvements there. We're looking at creating a plaza there so the community can come together. We heard a lot about how this community is really a social community. The people like seeing each other. They like sort of seeing their neighbor. We're trying to create public places that the buildings define so that you have the public settings where you can go for a walk, or you can meet somebody for a cup of coffee, or you can go and see the kids playing. So we've created some new ideas for the park, better bleachers there, community spaces, a senior building with a dining hall on the ground floor, and here we're showing a sort of an amenity pavilion building with flexible meeting